In a crowded house full of voices, there was one voice that went unheard. In a family surrounded by children, there was one woman who held none. In a culture where a mother's worth was measured by the life she carried, Hannah carried only sorrow. Year after year she smiled politely. Year after year she endured whispers. Year after year she swallowed tears. But heaven was listening, and one broken prayer would shape the future of Israel. Elkanah was a faithful man. Every year he traveled to Shiloh to worship Jehovah at the tabernacle. He had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. Peninnah had sons and daughters. Children ran through her courtyard. Laughter filled her tent. Hannah had none. No child's voice, no small hand to hold. And Peninnah knew it. She mocked Hannah relentlessly every year, every feast, every family gathering. Sharp words disguised as casual remarks.
Still no child? Maybe next year.
The Bible says she provoked her bitterly. Hannah tried to endure it quietly, but sorrow does not fade when it is fed daily. At Shiloh, during one yearly visit, Elkanah noticed her silence, her untouched food, her swollen eyes.
Hannah, why are you weeping? Why do you not eat? Am I not better to you than 10 sons?
He loved her deeply, but even love cannot replace a longing planted in the heart. Hannah's ache was deeper than comfort could reach. One evening after the meal, Hannah rose quietly. She walked alone toward the tabernacle, the sacred tent where Jehovah's presence was symbolized. There, outside the sanctuary, she broke. Her shoulders trembled. Tears streamed down her face. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. She poured out her soul before Jehovah.
Jehovah of armies, if you will only look upon the affliction of your servant. If you will remember me, if you give your servant a son, I will give him back to you all the days of his life.
This was not bargaining. This was surrender. If you bless me, she was saying, the blessing belongs to you. High priest Eli sat nearby. He watched her from a distance, her silent lips moving, her body shaking. He assumed the worst.
How long will you make a drunken spectacle of yourself?
Hannah lifted tear-filled eyes.
No, my lord, I am not drunken. I am a woman deeply distressed. I have poured out my soul before you were.
There was no anger in her response, only honesty. Eli saw then that he had misjudged her.
Go in peace. May the God of Israel grant your request.
Those words changed something inside her. The burden did not disappear instantly, but hope entered. She returned to her family. She ate. She stood. She believed. In time, the prayer was answered. Hannah conceived, and she gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, which means heard by God. Every time she called his name, she remembered, God heard me. Imagine the joy, the tiny fingers wrapped around hers, the sound of laughter in her tent. the fulfillment of years of longing. Penina's taunts fell silent, but Hannah did not forget her promise. She remembered every word spoken in tears.
Time to get dressed, my
When Samuel was weaned, still very young, Hannah prepared for the hardest journey of her life. She dressed him carefully, held him tightly, and walked once more to Shiloh. This time, not in sorrow, but in surrender. She stood before Eli again.
This is the boy I prayed for. For this child I prayed, and Jehovah granted me my petition.
Then she said something remarkable.
So I also lend him to Jehovah. For all his days he is lent to Jehovah.
She did not give him temporarily. She did not say, just until he grows. She released him, left her long-awaited son to serve at the tabernacle. Year after year she would return, and each year she brought him a small sleeveless coat, hand-stitched, carefully woven, a mother's love sewn into fabric. Samuel grew there, serving before Jehovah, wearing the coat of a praying mother, and Israel would one day know him as a prophet, a judge, a leader who anointed kings.
But long before Samuel shaped a nation, he was shaped by a mother who prayed. Jehovah did not overlook Hannah's sacrifice. He blessed her again. 3 more sons, 2 daughters. Her house, once silent, was now full. Laughter replaced weeping. But perhaps the greatest miracle was not the children. It was her transformation. In her prayer recorded in 1 Samuel chapter 2, Hannah declared, "My heart rejoices in Jehovah. There is no one holy like Jehovah. He raises the lowly. He lifts the needy from the dust." The woman who once wept in bitterness now sang in triumph, not because she finally had children, but because she had seen Jehovah's faithfulness. Hannah's story is not just about motherhood. It is about perseverance. It is about prayer that refuses to give up. It is about trusting God when the answer delays. She did not receive her blessing immediately. She endured mockery, misunderstanding, years of silence. But she kept asking, kept seeking, kept pouring out her soul. And heaven listened. Jesus would later say, "Keep on asking, and it will be given you. Keep on seeking, and you will find." Hannah lived those words long before they were spoken. And perhaps today, someone listening feels what Hannah felt: overlooked, misunderstood, mocked, waiting. Remember this: tears do not go unnoticed in heaven. Silent prayers are heard, and sometimes the greatest miracles are born from the deepest sorrow. Hannah entered Shiloh broken. She left strengthened, because the God who seemed silent was working all along, and the child she surrendered to him would change a nation. Never underestimate the power of a praying heart, because when sorrow meets faith, God hears and He answers.